Hello and welcome to Dead and Kind of Famous, where we dig into the life stories of dead folks who enjoyed a touch or two of fame in their time.
And now reside permanently in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
I'm Nora Nagatani, and I know nothing, but I do know, if you're familiar with the Look Who's Talking trilogy, it's Look Who's Talking 2, and Look Who's Talking Now.
And you've recently...
Yes,
rewatched
we rewatched it just to have like a chill like movie night. So we watched the Look Who's Talking, the original, and of course it starts off with an internal cum shot. So you see the sperm, flying to the egg. And,
I forgot about this, and now I remember. Okay.
Yeah, and Marty Supreme, they also tried to use that, like that was a new concept. I don't know if they're, but it's like been there, done that.
Right.
So then Look Who's Talking 2, when they're conceiving the second baby. Now this is John Travolta's cum shot. Again, an internal cum shot.
And you can tell.
You can tell. Well, no, just because that's who she's with. And also in the first... And in the first one, too, can I just say she covered for that man who she was like, oh, this was like an IVF baby. And also they were like, oh, are you a lesbo? That was said many times because it was 1989, so that's just one thing. So many times that question was asked, including by John Travolta when he's driving her to the hospital. He's like, what, you're a lesbo? She's like, oh, it's a test, whatever. They call
No one says that anymore. I don't know if that's ever been like explicitly offensive, but like I don't know if it is or not, but like it's
hilarious.
It's just funny and sounds stupid, and like no one says it anymore.
Yeah, like they're like, you lesbo. It was like an ongoing gag in the first one. So the second one, again, an internal cum shot, right? You're just seeing the sperm go to the egg. That's in the second one, and that's
it's a
John
through
Travolta's
line
sperm.
at this point.
So, and Look Who's Talking Now, the beginning of it is a dog cum shot. And the dog...
Wait. How did it look different than the human?
It looked the same, but you knew that the two dogs were mating, and then the dog turns into Danny DeVito. His voice. I was there's no way for the third one they're using it, and it was two dogs mating. And I know it's like,
I don't remember what the dog looks like. I don't remember it all, and now I'm like just picturing Danny DeVito as the penguin. Like
But there's the two dogs, because then the one is Danny DeVito's voice and the other one is Diane Keaton. Remember? And that's like the poodle.
Okay.
The little girl. Okay. Yeah. I had forgotten a lot of this too, but I was like, we might as well start the third one because we'd done the two,
What a hilarious trilogy to like invest so much time in.
But it was on Tubi, and I was like, let's do it.
The sponsor of this episode. No, I'm kidding. Not.
But it was Courtney.
You want cum shots? Go to Tubi, okay?
I'll say an internal one because they're not sexy, but and like the sperm is all like talking to each other and.
Right. Oh, that's
remember
right.
this,
that's
right?
They had voiceover for the sperm. Oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah, and Bruce Willis being like the sperm and the baby, but it was funny because but 3 times I was like, surely after the second one they're done, and then the third one's open up with a dog cum shot. I couldn't.
Wow.
I don't know if that's too crass to say on this podcast or
it
in
is
general.
not. It is not.
But that's what it was.
That is hilarious. Wow. Okay. And I'm Courtney Blomquist, and I know way too much about what we're talking about anyway, which, if you're returning, is Mabel Fairbanks. Again, part 3. If you didn't listen to parts 1 or 2, get out of here. Go back. Go listen to those. Anyway, what I do know is I still have this cough, and I'm still sick, and I was sick a week ago, and I'm annoyed. And it's also the first time that Iris was not patient 0. I believe patient 0 was my dad who came to visit and brought this from the plane. That's what I think. So, yeah. But honestly, we were talking about it. It's like I feel kind of good knowing, like, I think he was the one who gave it to us, and it wasn't the other way around, because I wouldn't want to make my dad sick. You know what I mean? So yeah. So what I do know is that I'm still sick, and that's annoying. Also, Listeners, this will be our final episode of season 2, and we will be back in a few months with season 3 and a bunch of extras for you to indulge in. So keep us in your listening library because we'll be dropping some updates and other fun stuff for you to enjoy in the meantime. Now today, as you heard, we have our guest host, Nora Nagatani. She's back. She's returning to sub in for Marissa. Marissa is fine, but she does have some health stuff that came up, and she's doing fine. But as her best friends, we would prefer that she focus on her rest right now rather than this podcast. And so Nora's here because that's what friends are for.
And don't kill me, but I don't know how to scroll on this computer, so let me grab Jessica really quick just to help me. I'm so listeners, I'm very technologically
you are the
just not with it. I can do a few things, but
you are acting like my dad still does not have a cell phone, and it was so nerve-wracking having him travel by himself. He doesn't have a cell phone. The man walks with a cane and needs a wheelchair at the airport. And then it's like, I noticed myself because I looked it up when I was supposed to pick him up at the airport, which is, in town here, we have a little airport he flies into. But
you just had to rely on knowing what time you would be in then.
Well, I just looked up the flight number and I was like, oh, it's got in 20 minutes early. I gotta go now. You know what I mean?
What if does he have a life alert? Probably not. We're trying to talk my mom into
I don't know. I don't
just
think
in case, she's 77 and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I think that's right where my dad's at.
Yeah, so I'm like, if something happened, But she's like, maybe I can wear a watch. I don't think she wants to wear the necklace and stuff. And yeah.
Like a lanyard.
And that's fair. She's still a very fashionable woman, but let's see what we can figure out. But yeah, that's crazy. So no, not even a flip phone, a Nokia. That's wild.
No. And I'm just I told my stepmom, I was like, we need to get him a cell phone. It has to happen. And she's like, well, he just doesn't like it. And he's always like, well, I think it'd be really distracting. And I'm like, yeah, but also we would know that you're okay when you're traveling by yourself, with a layover and everything. You know what I mean? It's just nerve wracking. You're for that entire amount of time that he's traveling, you're I hope everything's okay. You know what I mean?
You know what? Good for him, though. I know he's a deeply intellectual person and just reads a lot of books. So, but man,
he is.
That would be hard with travel. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
But I mean, he figured it out. He did great. So, it was a lovely visit. Anyway, back to Mabel. And I'm probably going to have to start and restart multiple times because of my stupid seal bark. It's really what it is. Okay. So when we last left off, Mabel had felt a strong and true calling to teach and put black skating on the map. But she kept getting sass and pushback in the form of blatant racism from the rinks around town. And to make sure that they couldn't get in her way, Mabel had enrolled in law school, which is amazing.
Love that.
Yes. Now, a few more details about that. Mabel was short on some credits, I guess, to join the law school. So she had to take additional courses at LACC, which is LA Community College. And she decided to take another path of courses that also had to do with law.
I took a police science, and that was really easy. Of course it would be. If it's what I'm thinking it is. Okay. All we had to do is write papers on the right things to do and have someone to come in to talk, no matter whether they were a doctor or what. So I always made a lot of A's, nothing but A's. Never made a bad grade. There were only fellows in the class, and they were all policemen. I was the only female there, of course. They saw I was making all these A's, and they says, maybe she can help us. So they would come to my house, and I would teach all of them so they could get better grades. The lieutenant who was teaching the class said, you see, the reason you guys are here is to get the extra $20 on your paycheck. She's here to learn. So when it came time to graduate, he wanted to give me a C. And I said, why should I get a C when I'm getting an A all the time? Why are you putting a C on my card? Everybody else in the class said, no, you can't do that to her. She's the only A student you have in the class, and she helped us too. So no, we will not stand for that, and we're going to report you if you do. So they all stood up for me, and they gave me the A. Boy, I was going down the drain with him on my card. And he didn't mind giving me an A, but not on my card.
Ugh. Racism strikes again. This part, it was like, it seemed in the beginning of that story, like the guy was like, look at this, she's here to learn. Like she's like the star student. And then he's like, but you're black and you're a woman, so let's give you a C because can't have you doing better than all the cops that are in here. Like, what is that?
I'm actually surprised that the cops stood up for her as well, because
in that time,
cops are notoriously great with black people.
Exactly. Well, the thing about racism is usually it's directed at people where they don't, and they don't know a person, they haven't bothered to get to know a person, and they make a bunch of assumptions about them. So maybe getting to know someone actually helped them. Who would think it? Yeah. So. But she's so ambitious, and the forces against her are just like, they're absolutely relentless in like everything that she does. But then after all that, she was ready to go to law school for real.
So I enrolled into Van Norman Law School, which opened up there not too far from LACC, and I was studying law there. We had a lot of talks on civil law and things like that. I did very well in that. Then I was supposed to take the baby bar in 2 years.
But right when Mabel was about to take the baby bar, Uncle Wally called her up and said,
since I'm so sick, can you give up school and stay with me and help me?
And Mabel, ever the loyal one, dropped her degree pursuit in order to help him. Which is like, I get it. We said before, she always had love for him, even though he was like, for a certain period of their relationship being her manager, he was so about money that it kind of destroyed their relationship.
And like you said in the earlier episodes, it's hard because she has childhood memories with him. He was good to her, it seems, during that time.
Yeah. And he helped her start making money in general with it, which is no small thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But so she did. She wanted to help him. The thing was, though, Uncle Wally was actually married at this time, but his wife was not around. Nowhere to be found. According to Mabel, she was now in
Czechoslovakia or in Canada.
2 completely different places. But no matter. The point was she wasn't in LA to help take care of her husband. Czechoslovakia or Canada, one of those.
One of the two.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They begin with a C, whatever. Mabel tried to reach her and tell her that her husband wasn't doing well and needed her, but she had an interesting excuse. She responded,
my psychic said that I can't right now. I have to wait a while.
And so Mabel waited a bit and called her back. At that point, she said,
my psychic said that I can't until after he passes away. What a crazy bitch. I'm sorry, but also such an LA excuse. Like,
yes.
I consulted with my psychic.
I'm sorry, such a Czechoslovakian Canadian excuse. And then that's what she did. She waited until he died to collect the insurance money right on time. And she came back right for that. So, yeah, we knew why she was there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I feel like he was a big cash cow, but she's just like, listen, if there's anything I'm going to get, it's maybe he was older than her, I'm sure. So it's like, you know what? Yeah. At least I'll get something.
Get that back. Yeah.
But even though Mabel never finished law school, everything she learned ended up serving her well. When they told her at the Polar Palace, home of the LA Figure Skating Club, that she could not teach there, she told them,
I saw my attorney today, and you know what he told me? That if you make up any rules, especially for me, which do not apply to any of the other instructors, that you're going to be sued so hard that you won't be able to get out from under it. Not just you, the manager, the owner, the whole ice rink goes. In fact, I'll wind up owning the rink.
Damn, Mabel. She's like,
yes.
Yeah, listen, I know my shit. So, of course she didn't have a lawyer. She was her own lawyer. So when they realized that Mabel knew her shit, they finally allowed her to teach. And even then, they tried to undermine her. Of course they did.
Yeah.
At first, she was teaching the children of movie stars like Dean Martin, Nat King Cole, Otto Preminger, and Jimmy Durante, which does, yes, mean that she was teaching Natalie Cole how to skate, which is cute.
What year would this have been? Like in the
this would have been like very early 60s or late 50s. Well, actually, I mean, no, late 50s though, because she started, probably like
late 50s.
Late 50s,
okay.
maybe, or I would say. So, okay, so for as far as like the famous people's kids go, the club didn't mind that because they didn't see those clients as serious competitors. When Mabel did start coaching kids with their eyes on competition, the club took issue with that. They put signs up all over the rink that said professional staff with every one of the instructors' names listed except for Mabel's. So to see how far they were going with this, Mabel called the box office of the rink in different voices, impersonating people who wanted to take lessons with her. I love it.
I do love her.
I know.
I mean,
she's so like, no, hell no, I'm not putting up with this. I'm going to catch you in your shit. And the woman at the front desk always said, whenever she called,
oh no, she doesn't even skate here. We don't know her, and surely she doesn't teach here.
So the woman who worked at the front desk, her name was Grace. So when Mabel confronted her and asked why she was telling people that, she said,
because I was told to say that. So as far as we're concerned, you do not teach here. We will always tell people you do not teach here.
And Mabel shot back with,
I'm sorry, but I do. And if you tell people that anymore, I'll have to sue you too.
And that put a stop to that. Grace, shut up about it. She was like, listen, I'm being told this. You know what? I can't do it anymore. I don't want to be sued. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But the first kid to come to Mabel who she put on the competition track was a little black boy named Atoy Wilson. Mabel coached him as a total beginner, and he caught on extremely quickly and showed a talent worth pushing. So eventually, Mabel told him that they would be preparing for the preliminary test, the test that was an entry into competition. The test that Mabel herself had not been allowed to take. The club still had a policy against allowing black skaters to test when Atoy came along, but Mabel still made him prepare for it for when they would finally allow him to take it. But, she got impatient. And eventually, she just flat out told them that he was going to take the test. It was hard to find 3 judges in the club willing to test him, but eventually she did find them, and when he took the test, he passed with flying colors. And in 1963, Atoy won the juvenile championship. Mabel knew that he had far outskated the others, but she really knew when she overheard the coach of the others, John Nix, say to one of the skaters,
don't worry about who came in first. You know Atoy came in first. Just worry about who came in second. I think Kenneth came in second.
Oh, Kenneth. We don't even know Kenneth's last name. Poor Kenneth. Kenneth was second. Atoy was the champion. That's all we care about. End of story. So Atoy was the first student to enter competition entirely because of Mabel. She pushed him on through and made sure everyone knew that he had a right to be there. And then there were many other students who were not outwardly LA Skating Club material who she coached. And many of them faced great injustices with the competition and testing spaces. There was a black student and competitor named Zenobia who did perfect loops when she was being tested, which is doing a closed circle on the ice with a lot of edge control, usually before a jump, kind of when they do like a circle right before they jump. And the judges gave her scores to another skater who could barely do the loops at all and failed her on her test just to hold her back and spite her. So that was one thing. And then she didn't pass,
Of course, yeah.
And then there was a Jewish student. They didn't like Jews either. So Mabel championed them as well, who Mabel was coaching. And she won first in the figures and freestyle events, like the individual events. So across the board firsts. But then they said that she came in third for the whole of the competition, which obviously doesn't make any sense. This pissed Mabel off, and she bounded into the judge's room like some sort of mystic Aaron Brockovich and said,
"Guess what? God tried to tell you people to be fair and unbiased. You had a plane crash to teach you, and there wasn't one black kid on that plane, and I doubt there was a Jewish kid on there."
So in that, Mabel is referring to the 1961 flight that killed the entire 18-member U.S. figure skating team and their coaches.
I love how she kind of, about death, she's like, it was like, he got that, she's like, that one kid, he got his head chopped off. I wasn't there. But she
I wasn't there.
Uses it with kind of like
I didn't see
a
it.
nonchalantness that I love, but then she weaponizes it when she's ready to scare people.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So go on.
So since you didn't learn anything from that, he'll get each one of you sitting here individually.
So she cursed that. I mean, that is a curse. That is a curse. That is like an old Italian woman in the streets of Sicily curse. Like, right? Like, I feel like we've seen this before. She cursed them with those words. According to Mabel, one judge was crippled in a car accident. Another had their house burned down. And another had a daughter who had a baby out of wedlock, which for a waspy 60s ice skating family might be the worst offense of all. And I love that. And it's like she was cursed because her daughter had a baby out of wedlock. And Mabel was open about the fact that she thought all of that happened for a reason. She said,
"You see, God works in mysterious ways, and he don't want you hurting his kids. See, because I belong to him, he does not want you to hurt me and be cruel to me, discriminate against me, any of his. He's a very jealous God."
That's so scathing. It's like, no mercy. F you. You brought this on yourself. You know?
I mean, yeah, she knew. This woman is a woman who knew what evil looked like.
I mean, it's true. She is like, you know what? Like at this point, you don't have a reason, because they don't, to be discriminating, to be racist, to be any of this. You don't have a reason, and you're just being cruel, and you're just being awful, and you're gonna face something for that. And
children,
yeah, exactly.
On that note too,
exactly. So, I'm not really mad about it at all.
Yeah.
But Mabel just kept knocking doors down for her students and making sure that they knew and believed that they could win. Atoy Wilson went on to become the first black skater to win a national title in 1966. And then she coached and forced together the champion skating pair of Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner. As Mabel recalls,
"Well, I had them when she was 6 and he was 8. I had her and Randy in one of my classes. I had about 3 different classes. Stages, beginners, intermediate, and more advanced. What they were, they were doing so well, so Ty's mother had already pulled her out of the class and said, 'You take private lessons.' So Ty was taking private lessons with me. Then Randy started taking private lessons. Then one day, about a year or so later, they were giving the club show. See, now I already have gotten kids into clubs. Each pro had so many minutes, so many numbers. So you can do 3 numbers or 4 numbers or whatever. So then I had used up all my time and I didn't have any more room but for 1. I said, well, I can't put Ty in there and I can't put Randy in there because it'll mean that it was 2. So I'll make 1 out of them. I said, you guys are going to skate together. They said, okay. So I taught them a routine to skate together, and they skated so well, got a standing ovation. And I said to them after the show, I said, you guys are really good, so let's do it competitively. We're going to take tests. And that's when Ty said, I don't want to hold another boy's hand.
It's like such a stark reminder. These are little kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when Ty said, I don't want to hold that boy's hands. And he said, I don't want to hold her hands either. And I said, well, You know something? You're going to hold hands and you're going to go on to the 76 Olympics and you're going to do very well. The mother said, you're not even skating together yet, and she's already telling you what you're going to win. So she said, I'm still not going to be able to hold his hand. And he said, I'm not going to hold her hands either. And I said, yes, you are. I said, just go on the ice and start stroking together.
I know.
I know I mean something different, but
I know. That got me too. It's not a
just
big deal. Go hold hands and then start, stroking. It's yeah, see, I told you, it's just holding hands and also that.
I said, just go on the ice and start stroking together because you guys are going to skate together and that's it. So they finally did. And from then on, we started taking tests and all the judges loved them. They said, what a beautiful pair. And they started winning competitions, which was good.
So skating with Randy, Ty became the first Black skater to compete for the U.S. at the Winter Olympics, the very first ever. In 1979, they won gold at the World Championships in Vienna, Austria. They won 5 U.S. pair championships in a row, competed in the 1976 Olympics, and qualified for the 1980 Olympics, though an injury that Randy was sustaining prevented them from competing. At one point, Randy's mother asked Mabel how she had predicted that they could make it to the Olympics when they'd never skated together. Mabel said,
well, I can just tell by their heads. They have brains up there. I know what I've taught, and this is it. If you instill goodness in the skaters and let them know that they can do it, think positive, that I am the best, I'm the greatest, and nobody can outdo me in this event. Because then they have pride in themselves, that they are the greatest.
yeah.
She's manifesting.
She's saying, she's like, yeah. I was teaching them to think positive. I knew that they were smart enough to do it. I knew they had skills individually. And like, I could see that I could shape them into that, and maybe part of that is them being young. I don't know. You know what I mean? But also it's just like, I think she had that voice in her own head without somebody else having it for her. But then she was that voice for other people. And that might've been one of the biggest things that she did.
And she can shape raw talent.
Yeah.
They clearly had a little something, and there is like psychologically a big thing about telling yourself I can do it, just saying those words.
Well, there's a mental part of a lot of things. I think like I've never been like any kind of good athlete, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of visualization. That's what I hear anyway. There is a lot of mental aspects of things, and it's like singing, same thing. They say that like mentally, like hitting a high note is envisioning the high note. It's like there's these things. So I think she's very much onto something.
And I think she knows she's the best teacher. That's why.
Yeah, no, she was so confident in herself. And she was also like, no, they're going to give you this test. They're going to tell you this. I'm going to, I know this whole thing. I've gotten every kind of pushback possible. So, you know what I mean? I feel like because she faced every obstacle, she's like, I know what the obstacles are and I know how to get around them. Which is great.
Exactly, yeah.
Other champions Mabel coached included Richard Ewell and Michelle McClatty, Bobby Beauchamp, Leslie Robinson, and many more. She also mentored champions known to everyone, such as Peggy Fleming, Scott Hamilton, and Christy Yamaguchi, which is crazy.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
And those ones, she was kind of talking about it. It's like they had officially other trainers and stuff, but she would step in. She would like help them with certain moves. She would even just like mentally mentor them, because obviously she had that strength. So in the late 90s, a student of Mabel's began to rally for her to be included in the U.S. Figure Skating Hall of Fame. She let every one of Mabel's students in on her plan, and just about all of her students and mentees wrote impassioned letters for the cause. And it worked. In 1997, Mabel Fairbanks became the first African American to be inducted into the U.S. Figure Skating Hall of Fame. She ended up teaching. I know. She ended up
I love that.
I know. Like
and it was like close, it's only a couple years from, she was so old by then. And like I'm glad like she got to live that and, enjoy that as opposed to it being like after death,
yeah, and
which
like
is what sometimes happens.
Totally. And Scott Hamilton, when they were like, oh, we've received all these letters, they're kind of like hinting at it like, oh, we've received all these letters, Mabel, like, like this seems pretty good. It was good in your favor. Like there's like a lot of like that kind of side conversation happening. It's like, and Scott Hamilton at one point was like, just give it to her. Which I love. Like, stop being so.
Yeah.
Like haughty.
She's done enough.
She's done enough. She's done enough and then some, okay? So she ended up teaching until she was 79 years old, which is wild. And in 2001, she passed away quietly of old age and was posthumously inducted into the Women's Sports Foundation Hall of Fame that same year. So she did get the posthumously one with that, but you know what? I've never heard of that anyway. So I feel like the figure skating one feels like a better one to get in life. Today, oh my God, this autocorrected.
What?
It's supposed to be the Mabel Fairbanks Scathingly Yours Fund, and my script says, today, the Mabel Fairbanks Scathingly Yours Fund, which feels...
What it wasn't supposed to be?
Scathingly Yours.
Okay, because I thought that was funny, too, and I was like, it would work either way because she's like, fuck you guys, you touted me.
For real. She's like, don't forget that you were all assholes to me. So... It's not the Scathingly Yours Fund. It's the Scathingly Yours Fund. And today it remains in her honor. As the website itself states, the fund
financially assists and supports the training and development of promising Black, Indigenous, and people of color, BIPOC, figure skaters with the goal of helping them realize and achieve their maximum athletic potential.
And, that's exactly what she did in her life, like exactly what she did in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so perfect, like what a legacy to leave behind. And I personally love that it bears the same name as her epitaph. Again, not Scathingly Yours, but Skatingly Yours. Yes. It all connects. I will link to that site in the show notes of her fund so that you guys can check it out, because you can actually buy Mabel merch. Like there's little water bottles with her cute little figure skating poses.
I want to see her picture too. I didn't cheat. I just listened to the episodes.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even look up a picture yet. So I would love to.
Well, there's a lot on our Substack already, and I'll add another post again with more. But you can buy Mabel merch there, and it directly benefits her fund. So
I love that. I might have to get something.
Yes. Get a water bottle, get a bag, hook yourself up. So in her oral history, when Mabel was asked what she felt her greatest accomplishment was, she said this:
giving back to the public and my students what I was given, a God-given thing that was given me. Mine wasn't given to me by man. It was given to me by God, but man would say that he's the cause of it. So I'll say giving it back to him. This has always been fulfilling there, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything I did in ice skating, and I would still do it the same way. There's no sense in changing. I'd still go up to the window and say, "Hey, miss, I'm next. Miss, I'm next." I don't care if it happens all over again. I'll enjoy every moment. I enjoyed the fact that I stood there, even after the session was halfway over, before they let me in. I enjoyed the fact that I knew I was going to get in there. So everything that's happened to me in skating has been great. That's beautiful.
I know. I love her. She's like, I have no regrets. I did everything that I wanted to do. And I mean, like, even with all which is like amazing, because I feel that she could have been really bitter. Like, she could have been a very bitter person. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be like, they blocked me out of competing. I would have been better than everybody, and they wouldn't let me compete. And, she could have been so angry about that.
Yeah, it's her gumption. It was like just her tenacity to keep advocating for herself when literally, there was no one in her corner since she was a child until a few people noticed. But like, she had to do everything for herself from such a young age. And I think that's what gave her the edge.
Totally.
Because she couldn't whine about it. Like, she had no other choice but to succeed or to survive, really. And she had no other choices. She couldn't sit there and feel bad for herself. And I think that's what helped her win.
Yeah.
She had, she had to.
Right. Right. Exactly. And then I think also it's really beautiful that like teaching and giving other people opportunities and to continue to fight for what you want through your students. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like her desires and her justice was all fulfilled through her students.
Yeah. And I think that's also just a sign of a life well lived. Like, she passed everything she could on to kids that wouldn't get as much of a chance. And like you said, she didn't remain bitter. She said she would do the same exact thing.
Yeah, which is like, God, I hope I could be like that. And I already know. I mean, like, listen, I am just officially middle-aged, and I cannot say that even at this point, even at the halfway mark. I can't say that. I have regrets. Listen to me. I have them. Okay. But so I think that's amazing that she didn't have any,
Did she ever get married or
no, she didn't. She said,
and she didn't have children.
She didn't have children. She said she was married to her skating, and she was like very like she did talk about that a lot. She like very briefly, and her entire oral history was like, oh yeah, I dated this guy. It was for many years and whatever. And sometimes he'd say,
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. And then it's just like, that's all she said about it. Like, never mentioned him again. He was so much of a footnote. And he was like, let's get married sometimes. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
She don't got time for a man.
No.
I mean,
no.
More power to her.
And then there were all the guys in Cuba that were like, never go back to America. And she's like, nah, that doesn't help me. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
no, thank you.
Yeah. But I really have to say, I feel like this one is one where I feel like I don't know. It definitely is like a Hidden Figures situation for sure. It's like our show is full of some big achievers, but some like misfits within that. The people who have like missteps, whose careers like end up kind of sidelined for one reason or another. Like, I feel like we get a lot of that on this show. Do you know what I mean? And I just don't think there's any of that with her. So I feel like she's like a rarity for Dead and Kind of Famous who should not be forgotten. So I feel very honored to be able to share her story. I'm glad that the foundation exists to carry on her name and that she did make it into the Hall of Fame and everything. But in general, I think more people should, know who she is. So.
Absolutely. And it is cool that she's still buried next to Hattie McDaniel.
She's not buried next to her, but they're in the same, they're both.
And it's Hattie McDaniel.
Yeah, Hattie McDaniel. So like Hattie McDaniel, she was like friends with her for a little bit. And it would have been shortly before she died. I looked up the dates and, Hattie McDaniel died in the 50s. And
way, way before.
Yeah. And so like she was, it was like when she was doing her show Beulah, and that's when they were connected. But like, they would not allow Hattie McDaniel to be buried in Hollywood forever in the 50s. It wasn't allowed because of racism, of course. And so she's buried somewhere else. I forget her exact location, but they have it's called a cenotaph for her, the same that Toto has, where it's like the grave itself is somewhere else, but there's like an honorary plaque essentially for her there.
Okay.
And so that's there, and so is Mabel. Which is, I love when there's connections within the graveyard of people where it's like they were close and they're all there. Because I literally imagine like when it gets dark and nobody's there, like people just like ghosts just coming out and having cocktail parties there. Like that's what I envision.
I kind of love that actually.
Yeah, right? Like it's not creepy. Yeah. They're just like, listen, we didn't get to talk enough when we were alive, so let's have a chat now.
we have eternity now.
Yeah, we have all the
so
time in the world.
Let's catch up.
Let's catch up. Have some drinks that we can't actually consume as a spirit, and just can't consume spirits because we are spirits.
Spirit.
So stupid. Oh my God. But anyway, yeah, this was like a shorter episode, but it kind of needs to be. Like, my voice, as you can tell, absolutely sucks right now. But
yeah, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I hope it was sexy and resonant for everyone, and
it sounded great.
okay, good. Yeah, a little bit of a mood, a little late night radio sounds,
A little rasp.
Sexy rasp there. But but I'm excited. I'm excited for season 3. I'm already working on stuff. I'm excited for new things to offer people. Excited to have Nora back more often, if she wants.
Yes. I would love that. I'm so honored to be asked.
You know what? If you only have one best friend, get yourself 2, because sometimes you're gonna need them.
One might be out of commission, and you got to sub in.
One might be out of commission. Exactly. So, yeah. But this was so fun, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys in the colder seasons. Listen, I'll say that it's going to be a few months. I'm prepping. I'm trying to be prepared, so we have a lot to offer you. So please stay around. There was going to be more in our feed. I promise. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Until season 3. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Your support and enthusiasm for the show are the reason we keep doing it. So thanks for the kind words. They really mean the world. If you liked the show or have ideas for episodes we could or should do, please drop us a comment in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And if you haven't yet, please follow the show and tell every cinephile and taphophile, fun fact, that's a person who loves graveyards, about your new favorite niche podcast. And if you want to see transcripts, photos, and sources for our episodes, check out our Substack, Dead and Kind of Famous. Dead and Kind of Famous is written, produced, and edited by Courtney Blomquist. It is hosted by Marissa Rivera and Courtney Blomquist. And special thanks to Jesse Russell, my husband, for allowing me to yammer on about the episodes before I can spill it all to Marissa. He tends to have some good insights and ideas, so thanks. Until next time, you might not be famous, but you've got a story to tell and you're not dead yet.